Greetings, fair viewers. I'm the Swordinator, and I bring you more Fire Emblem 7. Hector leaves Ostia. He moves towards Santa Ruz to meet up with Eliwood as quickly as possible. He encounters a mysterious group whose dark garb hide an even darker secret. Perhaps these same powers have turned their blades on Eliwood. Hector hurries south, praying for his friend's safety. Chapter 12, Birds of a Feather. Lord Hector, I have it. I know where Lord Eliwood is. He entered Santa Ruz not far from here. Is that so? We've read his movements fairly well then. Let's move due south and cross the border. We'll meet up with him in Santa Ruz.
Ah, there you are, Lord Hector.
Oh no. Sarah? What are you doing here?
You're going to meet Lord Eliwood, right? Well, I want to go too.
Go home. This is no game.
But Oswin told me it was all right to come.
Oswin? Yes, my lord. On the Marquis's orders. Sarah and I will be accompanying you. Ah, this is ridiculous. Always have to have the last word, eh, brother? No matter what you think, he's just worried about you, Lord Hector. You're the only family he has. I know. Lord Hector, up ahead. There appears to be fighting. Where? Is it Eliwood? Come, let's get closer. Hurry, Oswin. Matthew. Yes, my lord. Oh, that was actually Matthew. Yes, my... whatever.
Oh, wait for me. I'm coming too.
Oh, I love this bit. It's fucking so dumb, but it's amazing. Hey, what's going on there? Looks like some rough business. You, soldier, are you just going to stand there and watch? Who do you think you are? This is Santa Ruz. What occurs here is no affair of any foreign lordling. I believe I'm going to have to disagree with you. You see, the man they're attacking happens to be a friend of mine. A friend? What? Sorry, but I'm in a hurry. So I'll just kill you to get you out of my way.
Ew, that's terrible. I loathe violence. Nicely done, my lord. You're a fighter born.
I cannot condone resorting to force so quickly. Chastise me later, Oswin. First we deal with these brigands. Come, we must help Eliwood. Help Eliwood? Sounds like a convenient excuse for more violence. Oswin. Yes, I'm coming. Matthew. Bring Sarah and follow along.
What? With Sarah? No, I want to go with you now.
Absolutely not. You'll slow us down.
Oh, how rude.
Oswin, let's go. Alrighty. So we got a new chapter, and we got a lot of units to go over, so let's get it started with Oswin. A knight in service to House Ostia, Hector's sworn man. So Oswin is the first and only armor knight you get in Fire Emblem 7. He is a very bulky unit. He has very good hit points, hit point growth anyway, and incredible defense growth. I think he has, he has the best defense growth in the game, obviously. Of course, he is weak to armor sling weapons and magic. Despite a good res growth, his base res is so low, and he's level 9. He starts out level 9, so, all in all, as an armor knight, Oswin's pretty good. However, he's an armor knight, and armor knights aren't particularly good due to their weakness to armor-killing weapons and magic. And in FE7, the armor-killing weapons don't mean too much, because weapon might is only doubled in effective weaponry, but it still can make a difference, and magic will always be a big deal for him. He might not always get doubled, by enemy magic users, because enemies in FE7 aren't particularly super fast all the time, but still, it can be trouble for him. So, also the fact that he has 4 move makes him a pain in the ass to use, because he's so slow, and there's a lot of big maps in FE7, so I'm not going to be using Oswin. I have used him before, and he's a nice unit to use, but I feel like he's not as much... He's more trouble than he's worth in hard mode, anyway. He can be good early on to do some good tanking, because the base defense of 13 is pretty fucking good. Anyway, then we have this group. We get Matthew and Sarah, obviously, but we've already seen them before. So here, this group, we have Eliwood, Marquis Fairy's young son, just and honorable. So Eliwood is the father of Roy from Binding Blade, and he's slightly better than Roy as a unit, but he's still got some of the same problems that Roy has, in that he has above average growths in most areas, but because he's only just above average, sometimes he can get screwed, strength screwed, speed screwed. Speed screwed isn't that often, but it can happen. Hit point screwed, really. He can get pretty unlucky in certain regards. I've always had an Eliwood that's turned out rather well, but one of the problems with him is that he's locked to swords, and swords aren't great. I mean, it means he can't use a javelin or a hand axe. He has no 2 ranged options outside of the light brand, and the first light brand you get is really far down the line. He starts with a rapier, which is different from in FE6. I think it has 5 extra crit. I think the crit on the rapier in FE6 was just 5, but it also has 7 might. So it's still effective against armor knights and mounted units, and in this game it's actually effective against anything on a horse. So that means nomads and troubadours instead of just cavaliers. So what that means basically is that in this game, the effective might of the rapier is 14 versus the 15 that it is in FE6, because the base might in FE6 of the rapier is just 5. So it basically means that the rapier, I actually think that the rapier is a better weapon in this game, despite weapon might only doubling, because it's got a higher base might, and he won't always be finding effective targets, and even when he does, it's only 1 point of might off, but that's not really the point. The fact of the matter is the rapier's still pretty good. The problem with Eliwood is that his base stats aren't incredibly good, because he has 7 speed. He doesn't even come close to doubling these bandits. So, yeah, he has a weapon triangle, but he's not going to be able to one-round him. In fact, it'll take him 3 turns to kill one of those units. 3 different attacks. So, Eliwood starts out pretty weak, but he can get strong if you're lucky. He can also not get strong if you're unlucky, but all in all, I feel Eliwood's a pretty good unit. You kind of need to use him because he's required in some chapters and not required in others. I like to use him anyway, because I'd rather not have him be in those forced chapters and just be crap, because I haven't used him at all, so I will be using him. Anyway, and then we have Marcus, who's yet another unit we've seen before. Marcus, in this game, is better than in FE6 by a fucking long shot, because all his weapon ranks are higher, all his stats are higher, his growths are higher. Marcus is just, Marcus was pretty good in FE6. He fell off rather quickly, or at least he did for me in my playthrough. But Marcus in this game will pretty much stay good. He's probably one of the best units in the entire game, because his bases are so amazing, and his growths are good enough to keep him going through pretty much the entire game. He's just the fact that he can use silver swords and silver lances at base and can pretty quickly get silver axes is fucking incredibly good. Marcus is a beast, so prepare to see me use him at least a bit. Then we have, who's next? Lowen. Okay, Lowen is a cavalier. A paladin serving House Ferre, a skilled veteran. A knight in service to House Ferre, a fresh recruit. This is Lowen. Lowen is a cavalier you get. He has 10 con right off the bat. That's a difference between Sane and Kent. Not that it makes that much of a difference, really. It means he can use steel swords without getting a penalty to speed, but I mean, Sane and Kent only get 1 speed penalty, so it's not a huge deal. Growth-wise, Lowen kind of reminds me of, oh shit, what's his name? The one cavalier from FE6, not Noah, Alan, or Lance, but the fourth cavalier you get. I can't remember his name. He joins in the same chapter. He joins in chapter 9, or I think it's chapter 9? I don't remember. The same one that both Noah and Jarrett join in. I can't fucking remember his name right now. Whatever. But, and that's it, that all his offensive stats are pretty low growth rate wise, and his base strength of 7 and speed of 7 aren't bad. But where he strives is he's very tanky. Really good hit point growth, great defense and resistance growth. He's a good mobile tank, basically. He's like an armor knight on a horse, minus some of the issues that armor knights have. So Lowen ends up being a pretty good unit. I don't know if I'm going to use them, though, because I don't know. I usually like to be hit and run with cavaliers instead of using them to tank and take attacks, so I don't know if I'll use Lowen or not. It depends. Next up, we have another archer, Rebecca. Rebecca is a youth from Ferre, very helpful and bright. Rebecca is the mother of Walt from FE6. So, if you give her an A support with a male in this game, like the end slate for her character will be like, oh, she marries this person and has a son who she names Walt. She's Walt's mother, and she's not particularly, I mean, she's an archer, so she's not great. Her bases are fucking awful. Base strength of 4, base speed of 6 isn't great. Her growths aren't particularly great either. I mean, she has a really good speed growth. She'll give her some experience and she'll be able to double most things, but the problem is that her base strength of 4 and her 40% strength growth means she won't really go far in terms of damage, and she's really, really frail. So, as well as the fact that archers just aren't particularly good in FE7, I'm not going to be using Rebecca, unfortunately. I've used her before. She didn't turn out amazingly. I mean, she was fast, but she had trouble dealing good damage. So that's Rebecca. And then we have Bartre, who we didn't see in my FE6 Let's Play because I took the route where I got Echidna instead. If you take the B route on the Western Isles in FE6, you can get Bartre instead. Bartre is a fighter, one of Eliwood's guardsmen. Duty is everything to him. Sure. Bartre is Fear's father from FE6, so compared to Dorcas, who you also get, where is he? Hello, Dorcas. Yeah, we get Dorcas again, and he retains his level from Lynn's story, as does Matthew and Sarah. Compared to Dorcas, Bartre is a little more balanced growth-wise. He doesn't he has a pretty good speed growth of 40%, a good strength growth, decent defense growth and resistance growth. He's just average all around, as opposed to Dorcas, who basically exists to deal a lot of damage and never double anything. And even then, my Dorcas has turned out fucking terribly, as he typically does because he's Dorcas. Bartre, on the other hand, his growths are pretty good. However, his bases are terrible. He has base speed of 3, as a level 2 fighter. That is fucking terrible. Even the 40% speed growth will not really be able to get him to the point where he'll reliably be able to double anything, at least for a very long while. The base strength of 9 is really good, but it doesn't offset the fact that he's really fucking slow. However, that being said, I'm going to use Bartre for reasons that will not be revealed until almost the very end of this Let's Play. I will be using Bartre. So, yeah, there's that. So, right, that's all the units. Fucking hell. I'm already gonna have to make this chapter probably 2 parts because I spent so long talking about all the new units, but such is life. So I'm gonna send... So, like, here's the thing with Rebecca, is she'll do 16 effective damage against these Pegasus Knights, and she doesn't double them. So she can't even one-shot them. That's the problem with archers in FE7 specifically. I mean, if this were FE6 or even FE8, she'd be able to one-shot them, but she can't. So, because, well, they only sell vulnerary, so what they fucking do. I'm gonna, so yeah, because of that, I'm gonna be sending Rebecca up here to deal with the, to get this village. So now I want to take a moment to talk about this chapter. This chapter is actually pretty fucking difficult, because the way the enemy units are positioned is such that the turn 1, the first, like, 2 or 3 turns is really a pain in the ass, because they're all placed in such a way to make it as much of a nightmare for your north group here as possible, because the bandit and the brigand and the Pegasus Knight really make it so that Sarah is, you know, in a terrible situation. She's really in a vulnerable state here. Matthew doesn't fare too poorly, but the Pegasus Knight is a real problem for him because of the weapon triangle. He can't take many attacks. I did give him the angelic robe in Lynn's story, so he'll fare a lot better than he would if you just started out on Hector hard mode without doing Lynn's story. But still, he doesn't fare amazingly. This guy does 13 damage. He'll take 10 damage from him, and he won't double, or he will double, actually, even at base. I just wasn't paying attention. But that still won't make a difference because he won't do a ton of damage. He doesn't fare amazingly. Yeah, he might fare decently against the brigand, but then again, there's also this archer to worry about, and there's these Pegasus Knights, and then there's this mercenary who's a pain in the ass because he's really fast. All in all, the north flank here is a nightmare, really. The south isn't that bad, mainly because Dorcas isn't particularly useful. His stats are only slightly better than they would be if I didn't play Lynn's story. Seriously, Dorcas got just absolutely terrible levels in Lynn's story for me. But, so, for the meantime, I want to put Marcus on this fort. I then also I don't want to, let's see here. I could put Lowen there. I don't think he'd survive, though. He might. Actually, I think he would. He doesn't have a way to retaliate against the bandit, against the archer, though, so I don't know. I may just put Dorcas there to absorb a lot of attacks, and maybe he can retaliate against the brigand or the Pegasus Knight. The thing is, though, I mostly want Marcus to take these attacks. First of all, though, I'm going to be giving Marcus the hand axe so he can retaliate against that archer. I want to get everything out of the way as quickly as possible because I'm going to be sending Marcus up here to assist with the northern flank, because these Pegasus Knights will go to the north, and it's a real pain because, I mean, yeah, Hector has a weapon triangle against them, and he has good defense, so he won't take a lot of damage. But then again, there's the problem with Matthew and Sarah. The northern flank will quickly get overwhelmed, so I want to get Marcus up there as quickly as I can. Lowen can also go up there, too, but he's behind everything, and I don't want to place him any closer so that he gets attacked. I think I'd rather place... Actually, no. Well, yeah, he'll get doubled. Bartre will get doubled by that brigand. So I'm going to put Dorcas here, which is not great because that means the archer will go for him instead. I totally fucked that up. So I'm going to put Matthew on this forest. I'm going to put him here, and I'm going to put Sarah on this forest so that the brigand won't get to him, because I want to but the brigand can get that forest, so I want to move Hector down here and hit the guy. I'm going to have Oswin throw a javelin at him first. Whoop, animations are off. And he missed, thanks there, bruv. Animations. Right. So... okay. So I want to give Hector a hand axe so he can retaliate against that archer. I'm honestly, I'm a lot more worried than I might come off, because, like, turn 1 might not be that bad. It's turn 2 that really becomes hell. Because those Pegasus Knights up to the northeast next to the boss will also start moving relatively soon. Dorcas got a level. Hit points and strength. Typical Dorcas level. Typical. Dun dun. Yeah, despite 10 defense, despite having 10 defense, Hector still takes a decent amount of damage from that guy. And Hector might be pretty tanky, but he doesn't have the most hit points in the world. Even if these Pegasus Knights can actually pose a decent threat to him, because they can chip him down, and it can become pretty difficult to have him survive past turn 3 if you're not careful, because he'll just get swarmed by these Pegasus Knights. I'm getting lucky that neither of them have hit them. Like, if both of them had hit him, he'd be at 12 hit points, which is not great, because while I do have Sarah there, it's not really a good idea to move Sarah into healing, because then she'll be right in the midst of hell, and she'll get attacked by everything, which she'll die towards. So yeah, this is also a problem, because Hector doesn't necessarily have the most reliable hit rate, what with using axes and everything. So this place has a secret book, this village. So many people would sell this secret book because it's 5,000 gold, but I'm not particularly fussed about it. In fact, I might give it to Bartre, because Bartre has not great skill at 5, and if I'm going to be using him, I kind of want to give him as much as I can to make him better, because he can be hard to use. I do want to use him for, again, reasons that will be explained later. I could also give the skill book to Hector, but Hector, I don't honestly think Hector needs it too much, because he has the Wolf Veil, which is pretty accurate. Right, so Dorcas. Actually, this is a perfect kill to Bartre. Hello. Wham! Axe to the face. I'm wondering. Like, Dorcas is already really low on health. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. This guy has 11 health, which means Eliwood can. No, he can't kill him. He'll do 11 damage. Damn it. I keep clicking the wrong thing. I'll have Dorcas weaken this bandit, this archer, even. Right. I just want to make sure my calculations. Yeah, this is kind of the problem with Eliwood early game, is that he has trouble killing things. To be fair though, so does Lowen. So, I think I'll give. So right now, Eliwood has more avoid. So the problem is if both of these bandits, these brigands, hit him, he will die. He gets 2 shot by them, which is not great. So instead, I'm going to be putting Lowen here. So he'll take the attacks from those brigands. So I can, however, I want to move Eliwood here, though, because if he gets hit by this guy, or he doesn't kill this guy, and then gets hit, he's totally... Well, alright. Thanks, Eliwood. And here I was talking about... And here I was worrying about Eliwood, but Eliwood can handle himself. God fucking damn it. Words are impossible. Yeah, so see what I mean? This flank has already gotten completely swarmed. Hector's a bit low on health. Oswin is fine, honestly, but this mercenary is a huge problem because he will. Oh no, he doesn't double Hector. Yes, Hector got at least a couple points of speed in the last level, so he doesn't get doubled by this guy. Normally he would, under most circumstances. So I think what's important right now, I can go. I might be able to do something if I'm... So, let's look at how Matthew fares. Yeah, see, he takes a fuckload of damage. He can't even finish off this Pegasus Knight. These Pegasus Knights are incredibly dangerous to him. They're not particularly dangerous, period, but to him specifically, yes, they are. Cripes. I would love to be able to have Matthew one-shot one of these Pegasus Knights, move Oswin around, and engage the mercenary, but I don't think that's necessary. Feck. It's a goddamn shame Hector missed this last turn. I could have Hector attack, but then again, he's also injured. I'd like to heal him if I can. I need to get rid of some of these Pegasus Knights, because they're a real goddamn problem. So yeah, I'll just do that. I won't worry about retaliating against the archer for now. I probably should, though. This guy actually doesn't do shit against Hector, come to think of it. Actually, Hector is perfectly fine. Even getting hit by all of these guys, he will not die. So I think I'll just have Hector hand axe this. Yeah, I'll have Hector use a hand axe against this Pegasus Knight. And dead. Right, so right now I want to see whether or not it's a good idea to keep... Actually, Sarah doesn't need to be blocked off anymore. Not that she really needed to be blocked off last time, to be fair. Okay, 11. He'll do 7 damage to Matthew. Plus this Pegasus Knight, who will do 10. He's not dead, but I'd rather him not get that injured, if I can help it. Especially considering... the thing is, though... I have a better idea. Here, I'll swap over Javelin to Oswin and then pick up Sarah with Matthew, and then I'm just going to move... What's-his-face? Marcus up north. Okay, so maybe I overestimated the difficulty of this chapter. I mean, it can be very difficult depending on how your... Ugh! What happened to Dorcas? Well, he died, that's what. You know... yeah, I mean, I don't particularly care about Dorcas, but... Then again... Then again, that Iron Axe means that I could give that Iron Axe to Hector, which means he wouldn't have to use his Wolf Bale all the time, if he could help it, and I wouldn't have to buy him an Iron Axe. It depends. I think... Yeah, I think I'm going to restart for Dorcas. As much as I'm not going to use him, and I don't particularly care. I don't like the fact that I've just the second... I also don't like the fact that the second level of Hector's story, I had someone die. Especially when I was just talking about, oh, maybe I overestimated the difficulty of this chapter. I didn't, really. Or I did, kind of, to be fair, but at the same time, I also did as stupid by letting Dorcas die. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this again. Bye!